Hello everyone, Chris here. I decided to spend next 10 hours playing Tracer. This video is going to be especially useful for newer players who are trying to pick up Tracer. I will try to go for every single aspect that you need to know in order to improve your mechanical part, understanding of the game, get better, and rank up as a result. Let's get started. And the tip number one, always TP 4 of your teammates on control of the point maps. This way you will get unfair advantage, better results on the first point. Here we are going for the flanking route. I am never approaching from the front. Here is a beautiful melee kill on the Moira. Here my main goal is to distract my opponents as much as I can and go for the backline when I see an opening. And a quick tip, you can stick Doomfist at the end of his fist form. Don't forget to charge 300 bucks after that. Here is a great example on how you can punish opponents who are running on autopilot. Beautiful. When it comes to this part of the map on Ilias, I always found it difficult to position myself as a Tracer player, and recently I found out that you can go for high ground, and I was able to land this beautiful kill on Sojourn because of that. Here's how a pulse bomb can win you a completely lost fight. And this is overtime. Opponents are very desperate for touching the point, or they're just gonna lose the game. I know that Moira is without the fade, I'm going for her, and instead of focusing on ball, I'm going for the second squishy. And as a result, we were able to convert that into a W. Another very important thing when it comes to choosing Tracer is understanding your maps. This is currently the Havana Widowmaker gameplay, and I would personally never want to play Tracer on a map like this. You see, there are sniper maps, there are maps with verticality. Sniper maps are Junkertown, Circuit Royale, and Havana, and verticality maps are Numbani, Dorado, Watchpoint Gibraltar, Hollywood in some case. And I would want to stay away from playing Tracer on these maps. Of course, you can force this character on every single one of them, but in reality, you will have lower value. So I suggest you, if you want to improve as a DPS player, I highly advise you to go for Tracer, Widow, and Ashe as your 3 main picks on those maps. And within no time, you'll be able to see insane results. Here I'm going for a complete cookage onto the enemy team, and they are playing the wrong comp. Thus, they literally have nothing to do with me absolutely destroying them on Widowmaker. If I were to play Tracer on this map, I would struggle quite tremendously. And here is how you can easily win a fight. Double shot, easy win. Here is another example of that. Got this guy, then got this guy, and that. Easy as that. Imagine playing Widow on sniper maps. Back to the Tracer gameplay, and you would ask me, Chris, what are the good maps for the Tracer? Control of the point maps are exceptionally good. The maps where you have to push the robot are exceptionally good for Tracer, as there are so many flanking routes that you can take in order to absolutely devour your competition. Here was a funny little moment where I was able to bait 2 of my enemies into a room, and there was a Junkrat. Sad. This is the sad reality of the situation. Hour 3, and I'm still pretty bad at blink melee, and it feels like it would take me over 8 hours to really get into a habit of doing so. Currently my blink is on the right click and my melee is on mouse 5, and my hand is pretty small in comparison with the mouse I'm using, so I have to literally extend my thumb in order to hit that. Maybe that is the part of the problem. Here was a very interesting thing. I would personally have never answered the question of what the hell is going on here. I'm trying to stick the Doom at the end of his fist form. He got cleansed and then died from cringe anyways. It was a very interesting game, to say the least. My Doomfist and me were cooking, my Junkrat was amazing. Here was a cool moment where I was able to one-clip the Zenyatta, which is a very rare thing. And here is the final fight. We're clipping this guy, going for the Moira. Easy W. It's interesting how only after 50 hours of consistent, very dedicated practice on Tracer, as well as hundreds of hours of watching how other Tracer players are making, I was finally able to replicate like 20 to 30% of their capabilities. I was finally able to land some nice stickies. I was finally able to kill some players with my movement, with my blinks. I love the attack when you are blinking behind them, then blinking behind them again, which is super satisfying to go for. Bastion is hell of a joke when it comes to playing versus Tracer. I absolutely have no idea what you can do on this clunky character. Even though they buffed him, there is just nothing you can do to save yourself. This was a very interesting match because I finally was able to land myself a super good enemy on the Tracer. This guy was cooking quite well, and in a Tracer 1 versus 1, when one player is not hard committing, there is not a single thing that you can do in order to die from it. It feels like when you are going for the Tracer 1v1, you always have backup plans. You always can go for the blink behind the corner and then stabilize off of that. You can always get life grip, just like in this situation. You can always recall, you can always just do something else. But Jesus Christ, this was like a 1 versus 1 arena when I was playing against this Tracer player. I'm not exactly sure of that sticky hit, but in reality, this was a very satisfying match. I had a lot of fun playing against this guy, and I actually added him after the game, said that he's a really good player, and he's like, yo, do you want to play Tracer Sombra sometime? And this is exactly how you know that this guy is cooking something. Because people are usually not really good at dive characters. They struggle to find value on them, and Tracer is for sure a really high risk, high reward character. Look at that. Oh my god, this is beautiful. And this is, by the way, my enemy POV. What a player. Shout out to Aaron. Jesus Christ. Went for a beautiful melee link recall. Oh my god. Nice. I feel like my biggest tragedy when I'm playing Tracer is the fact that I cannot land myself a good Winston player. So if you are a good Winston player, hit me up. But if I'm being serious, most of the time I have to play a distractor role, and we will speak about it in later hours, but another beautiful stick onto the Doomfist. They never learn, man. They just never learn. And in reality, if your tank is a brawl tank and you don't have a Sombra pair with you, you have to pray to God that opponents are gonna do this. So notice how I'm distracting both Soldier and the second support. I don't really see who that is. Ana probably, right? And now, as you can see, Soldier is in a very bad position because I made him like go back and then go forward. And this is exactly what you want to do on Tracer. You want to make sure that as many enemy players are looking at you while you are dancing around them, so you can have insane value. Like right here, 2 players are looking at me. Beautiful. And as a result, I was able to get a kill. Nice. Hour 6, and I am feeling very confident from that point. This is the second day of the challenge, and I am warmed up, refreshed. I had a really good day before, and I am ready to absolutely devour and destroy my competition. On hour 6, I decided to solely focus on hitting most of my shots, because even if you are going for an insane positioning on Tracer, not being able to land a few crucial like headshots and keep your accuracy high can lead to misery, pain, and suffering. This is gonna be a very nice moment where I finally was able to outplay my enemy like completely. Look at that. And this is, by the way, the Soldier's POV. So what I did here is I blinked behind him and then blinked behind him again. So instead of him going for the clear shot on me, I was able to absolutely cook him like that. And again, I am like setting up. Even if you are not doing anything, you need to press W. Not in a way that you need to like die to the enemy team, but you just need to set up for the next engage. You always need to think about where you are gonna end up and what you can do to like improve your positioning and go from advantageous kind of spot and like destroy your competition. I was able to cook the Lucio with ease, and then I panicked a little bit. I'm like, oh, where is he? Where is he? I wasted one blink and he should have killed me, but he missed quite a few shots there. I'm going for the Bastion. Bastion is just such a joke of a character instead of, well, not instead, but when you are playing Tracer. And this is going to be the final fight. I was able to stick Winston and we got the W. Interesting thing is that when you climb higher and higher, games are harder, but in reality, even if you are a diamond level player, playing in duo or trio makes your game like at least 2 times harder. There are so many more smurfs, there are so many more players that are in Discord and like they're calm and collected and ready to call out and destroy you. Everyone is in the voice chat, no one is like staying away from the communication, and I absolutely love it. This was kind of a game where you are playing duo and you are trying your absolute hardest, and I feel like these are the type of games that you can really tell if you are a good player, if you have improved, because like solo queue experience on Tracer is just a coin flip, whether you are gonna get good teammates or bad teammates, whether your opponents are gonna be worse than your teammates or not. And wow, this is just beauty. This is like, wow. Tracer is an absolute S tier character, and finally, after many hours of suffering, I made it work. I can already see that my blink usage is a lot better, my understanding of the game, and here is a great example of what pure distraction looks like. I don't have the job of killing this Hanzo. I have no intention to do so. He's mercy pocketed. But the fact that this dude has to look at me while mercy is constantly on him makes me a very valuable player, even though I'm not dealing any damage. This is a kind of stat that you will never see in the tab, as tab never shows you how many players you distracted, how many damage were you able to cut away from your teammates onto yourself. Wow. Another cool moment where Mercy thought she is very safe and the fence played for me. The fence is on the Tracer team side. Here another beautiful pulse bomb to get rid of the copy of the echo. Yeah, we are getting a kill here, getting a kill there. Beautiful. I absolutely love playing Tracer. She is by far my favorite character in Overwatch. Very entertaining. Players and games are always challenging, and this is a high risk, high reward character. If you are slow for at least half a second, you're gonna die. You are not as accurate as you would want to, you're gonna lose. And wow, another great moment where I am just distracting the Hanzo, waiting for my team to capitalize on the situation that I created or I helped create. And even though you have low kill games, don't worry, though this is absolutely normal, especially if you have Reinhardt as a tank. Another beautiful stick onto the Doomfist. This is like the 15th time that I'm doing that. It's not a surprise that this is gonna be your common trick if you would want to play Tracer seriously. And wow, here is another example of why resources matter more than kills. I baited out Lamp, and look at the kill feed. 1, 2, 3. Imagine they would be lamped, right? Our 9NA would want to speak about the best comps that you can run Tracer with. I would say that the best support for Tracer is going to be either Ana Brig, or you would want to go for Ana Zen. This is by far the best support lineup right now, as it will allow you to utilize your character in a better manner. If you are going for Zen, Heal Orb is gonna make you immortal, and Discord Orb is gonna make Tracer 1v1 a lot more bearable, and you'll be able to win more of them, as well as the fact that if Discord is on a squishy, you'll be able to pretty much one spray him. If you are going for Brig, not only your Ana is very safe against the enemy dive, but you can be enabled in a better way because of her health packs. Imagine you are low HP and she just presses one button and now you are full. This is very, very nice. In terms of the second DPS, I would say that best ones are probably Echo or Sombra, as they are literally the best DPS in the current meta. With Sombra you can 3-to-1 hack a person and there is nothing that person can do to avoid death. It is just a very cancerous comp to run, and yeah, you really don't want to play against the good Tracer Sombra duo. It is a tragedy, especially paired up with Winston. Jesus Christ, you would constantly have to peel for the backline every single time. In terms of the tank, Winston is the best tank for Tracer. You can obviously play with Wrecking Ball or Doomfist, but they don't particularly provide any protection, because when you are jumping with Winston, you jump, he bubbles, and you play inside of that bubble to really get the most out of your hit. Brawl tanks are great because they can hold on to the team and so on, but in reality you are not going to be a deadly assassin that goes for the backline. You're just gonna be a distraction tool waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and this is also a skill that you have to learn when you are playing Tracer, especially if you are going for the solo queue most of the time. People will not be able to play a dive tank you want. People will not be able to find value in that regard, so you would have to learn how to play backline yourself, and Tracer is a character that's pure mechanical skill. So I feel like it's very important to take the personal responsibility for every single mistake that you are doing. Never blame teammates. Instead, go for your own improvement, and in a short period of time you will be able to see immense results when it comes to playing Tracer. Hour 10, and now let's talk about the worst characters to play against. Certainly, Ana Brig is an unkillable support pair backline. This is just an absolute disaster to play into. Characters that can make your life a lot miserable than it was before is going to be Moira, although Moira is a pretty useless character overall, so if you can force a character to go for Moira, you are pretty much helping your team survive, and this is very nice. This is very, very nice. In terms of the DPS, you have a very nice matchup versus pretty much everyone, although pocketed characters can be a hassle to do anything against, as well as Mercy is just unkillable for the majority of the time. She just flies in the air and you have no access to that because your damage drop-off is too low. In terms of the tanks, I would say that there is not a single tank that can be a problem for you because you just don't go for them. You absolutely don't care. You absolutely don't care. Another support that can be a problem is... Nah, there is not a single one, honestly. With the recent buff of Tracer, indirect buff, where they nerfed Ana and nerfed Kiriko, and now Ana cannot reliably kill you with 2 bullets, and Kiriko will also struggle to headshot melee you, you are good to go. You're an absolute animal when it comes to like matchups, and you just go for the backline and destroy it. Like Mercy Moira is just horrible, and I understand that I was the reason this player was forced to play Moira instead of like Ana or something, because yeah, Moira is never the answer to the Tracer. Brig is always the answer. Brig is always the answer. Beautiful ending to this game and to this challenge. I absolutely love Tracer. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being here. See you in the next one. Take care.